Hey everyone, how you doing out there? This is Gil at graymanprepping. Alrighty, so this is this is number 2 of the Prepping for Beginners series. And as you saw by the title here, we're going to be talking about, is it too late to start preparing? So is it too late to start preparing? I don't know, is it too late? Did you miss the boat? Are you up the creek without a paddle? Has the ship sailed without you? What is with the creepy skull? Well, the answer to that question and the title, no, it's not too late to prepare, to get prepped, to do whatever you want to call it, unless you look like creepy skull guy here. Then it might be a little too late. A lot of people ask me the questions when I tell them, no, it's not too late. You can't get prepared today. You ask, well, what do I need to get first? And there are so many things people think they need to get first, but let's look at it from, well, my perspective as an instructor for preparedness. The first thing you're going to need is a notepad and something to write with. Pencil preferred, because you can erase pencil. It's kind of hard to erase ink. And the first thing you really need to do is to make a list of everything you have in your house that you need. Food, sanitary needs, cleaning needs, all that stuff you have, everything you use. Now, this is going to take you some time to do. It could take you a couple days. Once you have a list, then the next thing you need to do, which works out, which you don't need to do it, but it actually helps in the process, is if you have a computer, which you should, and you have an Excel program or a spreadsheet program on there, start putting this stuff into a spreadsheet, and you have in different columns or different tabs, however, but you want to set it up, group by category, some sort of category that makes sense to you. Everyone asks, well, where do I start in getting prepared, though? In prepping, what do I do? Well, you need to start with the basics. And then some people go, oh, you mean gear? I need to get all the gear and stuff? No. The latest gear, the best tactical stuff, the high-speed, low drag, as Steve likes to call it, Steve at Corsair Trainers. No, that's not what you need. You don't need to be getting supply tunnel vision, focusing on stuff that's not what you need to be focusing on. Not the cool stuff, not the flashy stuff. We need to start from the basics. And what are the basics? Well, the best way to explain it is the rule of 3. Now, there is 3 parts of the rule of 3, although some people are out there, some prepper channels, that, the ones that are like, oh, He-Man, we got to do all that, the grunt stuff. They like to say, there's 4 rules of 3. And what they do is they come up with this, but the problem is one of these does not belong because it's not true. It is a total lie. Can you guess which one? 3 hours without shelter does not kill you. Have you gone to the beach for all day without a shelter? Did it kill you? No. I've gone camping with nothing but a blanket to lay on for a couple days, didn't kill me, and that was more than 3 hours. So those that say 3 hours with a shelter will kill you, no, it won't. That's a BS. So just forget that. What we're talking about are the original three rules of 3. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food will kill the average person. Now, some people like jumping in when I'm talking about this. Wait a minute, I know a guy that can hold his breath for 5 minutes. Yeah, he's trained for that and has developed his lung capacity for that. He's not the average person. And he had a chance to, oxygenate his blood before he held his breath for 5 minutes. If you suddenly get choked off, something, falls on you, whatever, 3 minutes, is when you start suffering brain damage. So let's move on here. You really can't store air, but As you know, as much as people like say, oh, we're going to clean up the air and make it better. Well, that's a whole other story, and we're not going to get into that. What you can do to help with your breath is get like dust masks. Dust masks are the common ones you get at the hardware store. You used to be able to find at the hardware store, or for stuff like wood dust and stuff like that, large particle dust, pollen in the air, stuff like that. Now, there's another type, which sold out really quick, which was the N95, and it's for smaller particles like cement dust, asbestos, stuff like that. They're really fine stuff. But that's not really what we're getting into here. That's just a little side note explaining on the air part. All right, so let's get into the two that you can store. Water. 3 days without water, your body dehydrates to the point where you start shutting down and you die. You can feel dehydration hitting you if you don't drink for most of the day. You don't drink any water or anything most of the day. You start feeling it. You start getting a headache. Your joints start hurting stuff. It's really obvious that you need to drink water. And there's a lot of ways you can store water. And people are going to say, well, I live in an apartment. Don't worry about that. They got small stuff, but we're just talking about water is one of the things you need to look into, how you can store for your supplies. And some people say, well, why do I got to store water? I'm on city water system. It works great. Well, it doesn't take a big disaster to stop you from getting water. I've seen this happen a lot in construction. Somebody's digging with a backhoe and they're not digging the right spot. They didn't get the stuff done that they're supposed to get done, and they hit the water line. Now, everybody in that neighborhood is without water for however long it takes them to repair it. And it also happens on a larger scale of larger pipe too. The other thing is food. This is the third rule of 3. 3 weeks without food, your body shuts down, because your body's like an engine. It needs fuel to run on. And without food to fuel your body starts shutting down. Don't be taken in by what some people say, oh, you need to stock up on all this freeze-dried food, or you need to get all these protein bars or whatever. No. What you need to do is follow the axiom. Store what you eat and eat what you store. In other words, if you don't eat Brussels sprouts, don't be storing Brussels sprouts. You know, whatever it is that you eat normally, that is what you're going to need to store. Because if you don't like it, you're not going to eat it. Now, you follow that plan, you'll be good, but you don't have a plan? Well, if you don't plan things out, then you're planning to fail. And speaking of planning to fail, that is the next video coming up in the series for Prepping for Beginners. Number 3 is make your plan, part A. Now, making your plan, or planning for emergencies, as it was originally called when I was teaching it when I worked at DHS, I'm breaking it down into 3 parts because it is an hour-long class. And you don't want to sit here for an hour. So I'm going to break it down into 3 parts. With that, I would like to remind everybody, there's a 20-second clip coming in here at the end with some links to some videos you might be interested in on preparedness. Also, everyone, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared, and if you can, plant some sort of garden. All righty? Take care.